People will proudly tell you how busy they are, how much they travel, how important they are, how much they have to do, how if they don't do what they have to do, bad things will happen, right? We're good at talking about this. It's become a pattern. We know how to talk about how busy we are. I can do it too. Catch me afterwards. I'll tell you how busy I am and how important I am. I'm good at it. Unfortunately, we've made this a standard operating procedure. It's become fashionable to where I call it the badge of busy, right? Teach people how busy you are. It's actually a survival strategy. It's a way of teaching people not to give you any more work. But the problem is you have only so much bandwidth in the world and in the communication network you have. And this takes up too much of it, right? It's not very useful information when I teach you how busy I am and you say, well, guess how busy I am, right? It's fine at a bar, but it's not very good information transfer. So we need to do something about this. And if you think you're going to throw more work, you're going to put green on her desk, right? That's what you're going to do. You're going to give her another costing model and you're going to give her, some new approaches, and she's going to go, great, now what, right? So put it in the pile, I'll get to it when I get to it. So what you need to do is figure out how to work with this, right? And so to do that, let me tell you a little bit about how we got here, how I think we got here. Now, this is an abstract view of the workplace prior to the information age. So you heard James earlier today talk about the information age change, right? Before the information age, this is more or less how we worked. The dots are the people. Those are the nodes in the system. The arrows are communication. Those are links, right? So you had somebody do something, pass it on. Somebody else did something, and pass it on. Successively higher levels of management and leadership had a successively broader view of the picture. So this might be in a large company, a mid-level manager's view, right? I can see 13 people here, 13 dots, and I can see some trains of activity. And by the way, if I'm the manager, I can go to that first person on the end right there, and I can say, hey, Susie, you don't know this, but when you do this in this way, it creates a screw-up down here for Bob downstream, so please do this in this other way, and that'll help Bob out. And then Bob comes to me and says, thank you, Ed. That really helped me. And I say, that's my job. I'm the leader, right? So you had instant brilliance, right? Now, you ready? This is where you're going to go work. See, more good news. That's the reality of the information age workplace. That box I have in my pocket means I'm connected to everything. So if you're working on a project and somebody is working on a somewhat similar project in a neighboring state, and there is a legal ruling related to that project, or there is a new costing model applied to that project, you may be expected to do something different tomorrow because you're interconnected, right? Or if you have people out in the field who are chatting with the eventual users of this project, and those users tell those people something you haven't heard, it'll come in an email and it may create changes in your world, right? Everything is interconnected. And this is stressing us out. This is why everyone's so busy, because they're working under overload that's coming at them from all angles. There's no longer a clear source. There's no longer a clear output. And so the question is, what do we do about that? And the first question I want to ask you is, what are you doing about that? Because I bet many of you are overwhelmed one way or another, or have been, at least, in the past. My contention and my hypothesis to you all, to everyone I talk to, is that culture, if you want to go back and talk about culture, or the workplace patterns we use, or this badge of busy thing we do, it all starts at an individual place. So if I go back to this picture in the background here, and I say we're going to practice those two patterns, that's all very academic, but I can say specifically, you are going to practice those patterns, and those patterns are going to become precedents. If you do that for long enough, this is the kind of thing that starts to happen. Now, I call this a cultural crystal, which is a fancy way of saying people around you notice the smart things you're doing and adopt them for their own. They don't credit you. They don't say thank you. They don't say, wow, you're the best thing ever. They just start to do it too because they see that it works. And so this is how we build cultures. This is how we change cultures. It's a set of patterns, a collection of patterns. And the thing that I want to leave you with is this, which is, in this picture, you're in the middle. And however big your org is or however complex the picture is, there is a part of the picture in which you are in the middle. And don't lose sight of that, because when you go off and work, people tell you, here you are in the org chart, and they'll show you at the bottom, in the basement of the org chart underneath the line, right? But there's a system like this, and you are in the middle. And that means in that part of the system, you are uniquely qualified to affect that part of the system, to create that picture I just showed you. And so as you sort of leave here from me today, what I'd like you to leave thinking about is what patterns you can demonstrate that'll help.